Welcome to the Mindful Place Summit. Today we have Dr. Helen Maffini. She's a researcher, speaker, and author in the field of mindfulness, social emotional learning, and positive psychology. She's the founder of Preschool Mindfulness Curriculum, an 80-hour accredited training program running in schools globally, and the creator of the annual Preschool Mindfulness Summit, which attracts viewers from 73 countries. She's the author of books Developing Children's Emotional Intelligence and the children's book Sammy's Next Move. Welcome, Dr. Helen Maffini. I'm so excited you're here.
Thanks so much for inviting me, Crystal. I'm really happy to be here and to talk with you again.
That's really, really kind of you. I really am excited to talk about you've got some preschool mindfulness tips that you're offering for our listeners today. And you did your doctorate thesis looking at mindfulness with preschoolers. What did you find?
Yeah, so I was looking at, I work a lot around the world, and I'm a global I've lived in 14 countries, and so I've seen a lot of things happen in preschools all over the world. And I spent a lot of time, 7 years, living in Hong Kong, and there's a lot of stress there with preschool children. There's a lot of academic competition from a very young age. So I myself had got very involved in my own practice of mindfulness, and I knew it had helped me and my daughters, and I'd kind of been putting bits and pieces into the work that I was doing. But I thought, wouldn't it be great if preschoolers could benefit from this wonderful practice? But there wasn't very much research going on, especially when I first started. It's coming now, but so I went in and implemented a 6-week intervention in 7 different schools, and we found similar things to what they're finding with preschoolers and with primary kids and with older kids, which is the kids were able to feel more relaxed and express that themselves through their drawings and through their own words. They were able to feel calm, and teachers also said that they just felt calmer in general. Their classroom felt very peaceful and calm. The children were able to focus more. So in the intervention, we did a lot of focus activities, and they were really able to express and explain what it means to be kind and display skills around empathy and pro-social behavior, which was wonderful. And we did this through looking at children's drawings and scribing their own words, which was my favorite part of my study. We also interviewed teachers and parents, and I got lots of great information from them. But yeah, it just seemed that even in a very short period of time, that you can really create some impactful things with preschoolers, and in a fun and playful way. So yeah, it was a great experience, and really fueled my passion to expand and work more in this field. So I'm very happy that we've connected, because I know we're on the same wavelength there.
We definitely are. And you touched a little bit about the educators and that they felt calm. Can you talk a little bit more on the importance of educators or parents doing some of this practice as well?
Yeah, I think for me, that's actually probably the most important thing. And it's actually, even if you didn't do any kind of activities with children, if we just develop our own kind of mindfulness practice and that way of being, and we can have that space between response and reaction, know when to take a breath. And we are modeling that for the children, and really there's so much research showing this as well, that the more teachers have their own way of being mindful and express that in the classroom, the children just absorb that by seeing what we're doing. And I think it's one really great thing to do is, as a teacher or parent, is to talk about that out loud with your children. So not just doing it, but letting them know, all these emotions are normal, that and how are you coping? So, if you might say, oh, I'm feeling a little bit stressed right now. I think I need to take a deep breath. And does anybody else want to join me and take a breath, or whatever it is, that just to let children know, why you're doing things and how you manage and use mindfulness in the moments of your day. But I think there's also a huge amount of teachers leaving the field because of stress and overwhelm. So I would love to see mindfulness built into teacher training colleges, and just giving people those skills that they might choose to use to manage all that's going on, and learn, self-care, put your own oxygen mask on first and things, because and especially now, right, with COVID, and there's a lot of pressure on teachers and parents. So I think it's difficult, right, because the stress and the anxiety and things are there. But yeah, the more we can model, I think the more children will just naturally follow that example. So
absolutely. And while you're talking, we talked about my personal journey with burnout a little bit, and I'll be explaining more later on in the summit when I come up and speak. But the idea of integrating it and regulating while you're educating and allowing that flow, it saved me in my career. And to be honest, if I didn't incorporate these practices into my everyday, I would have surrendered to the burnout and probably left the field. And to think about that, especially with, such passion and purpose, leaving the field would have been detrimental. And so having that innate idea of, okay, if I can just breathe. And I love what you said about expressing it. Oh, I'm feeling a little frazzled today, and voicing that's key, because then the children can reference, oh, teacher's feeling a bit whatever, and let's do this with her. So that's very simply put. So I really appreciate that explanation. So we talk a little bit about practical mindfulness tips for teachers. I know you've kind of mentioned a few, but what are some of your favorite?
Yeah, so well, as a teacher, going in the classroom, things that I like to do for myself, or even in other circumstances, is just build in those kind of tiny moments into my day. So when I'm washing my hands, that's a kind of trigger for me to remember to be present and to notice how the water feels and what's happening. And because a lot of people, and I was like this, forget to practice mindfulness. They want to, but I think it's about creating those little moments, as well as the meditation and longer practices. But so whenever I open a door, I take a breath and kind of try to ground myself. When I walk up a flight of stairs, that's my reminder to come back to the present. And so I think we can incorporate those little things into our classroom day as a teacher, and make sure that we're, having a cup of tea, that we do go to the bathroom. I know teachers just don't go to the bathroom the whole day, so you have to build in that self-care, and think about how we can put those things into place so that we can show up better for the children, and better for ourselves. And then for children, there's just so many fun things that I like to do. So a couple of things. One of them is bringing in the weather with a lot of action. So talking about how we're feeling, and saying, do you feel sunny and happy, or like, is it a bit rainy and you feel sad or angry, and the thunder? But really making it playful and full of movement. You can even have musical instruments going along there, but giving children something to join the abstract concept of mindfulness to, or emotions to something that they might be more familiar with. I know this is a favorite. I think you showed this on my summit. I think many teachers love this, but I think this is a great tool to use even at home. I like to have like loads of them in the classroom so that children can do them together and just practice, you know, that in and out. But kids just love this. I see them go into like the calm corner or the mindfulness corner or whatever people are calling it, and just picking this up and practicing when they feel that they need to you know get out of the emotion that they're feeling, or they just want to practice. So I really love that. I love using things like cotton balls or feathers just to practice like blowing them off the hand. I think the breath is when I did my research, there was a lot of breath work in the program that we did, and children love breath work, right? And you can have so much fun with it. So because you know you can pretend you're a crocodile or a butterfly, and you can just build it in, and kids can, you know, invent their own things, which they can come up with things that are quite inventive, right? So yeah, blowing bubbles, you know, doing all that kind of just fun breath work, and belly breathing is great, and even getting them to, you know, make their own little toy or whatever, bring a little toy from home, and doing that with visualization, I think, as well as I like to bring in a lot of imagination, and you know, imagine that we're under the sea or we're in the forest, and what do you see and what do you feel, and things like that. So I could just go on all day. Nature, I like to do lots of yeah. I love you know, just thinking of activities, and a lot of activities will just come from the kids, right? When they start, like, you know, you might have a bell, or one thing we do is with a tambourine, and you have to pass the tambourine around without making a noise, and just listen, you know, and get all excited who's going to make the noise. And yeah, we do lots of fun and playful things. For me, in this age range, you know, we don't want to sit and be serious for long periods of time and make it into this serious kind of thing. It has to be something that's natural, and children are naturally curious, right? So also, you know, going outside and exploring with a magnifying glass, and really looking at the plants and the leaves and the insects, if there are any, and seeing what they notice, and bringing that natural environment then maybe back inside, and doing kind of art, or just making like a little altar type of thing in the classroom with different seasonal things that they've found and they can touch and feel. I think I think for me, it can be in every part of the day. It doesn't have to be like a separate mindfulness activity, but it can, and I like those too. But there's also just lots of ways to kind of bring the mindfulness into whatever you're doing, I think. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
You're it's so inspiring to talk with you, because you have so much passion, and I can see that coming through when you talk. And even when you picked up your Huberman Sphere, I initially, and it's like, just, I wanted to breathe with you. It's like, oh, there, right? And the idea where it's playful, and you're not making it, okay, now it's that one extra thing that we need to do. You're finding those moments to move and flow. And what's really inspiring is the world needs this work. Like, you know, you know, when you talk about the importance of keeping caregivers in the field, just imagine a world, and I get goosebumps when I say it, and I know we're on the same vibe, but imagine a world where children learn to breathe, learn to connect, learn to really look at the apple, but see the apple in a different, it's not just this, you know, oh, it's an apple. It's an apple. What color is it? Let's smell it. What's inside of it? Where does the apple, and it's just that exploration that comes with it, where
Yeah.
the learning might already be happening, but it's taking it to that deeper, meaningful
Yeah.
level and just stripping back the layers a little bit more. And, hearing you speak, I get so excited. I'm over here just like, because it's so inspiring, and there's passion behind it. So I want to thank you, and we're going to talk a little bit about the little free resource, but I just want to share my gratitude for the work that you're doing and all the wonderful summits that you've been putting together that I got to be a part of as well. So thank you for that. And you've put together a little bit of a resource for our listeners today called the 25 Preschool Mindfulness Tips. So we will have a link below on your speaker page here for everybody to find you. But what can your listeners here expect from that little handout?
Yeah, so we have lots of freebies on our website, so go ahead and check those out. And we've got some children's videos as well on YouTube, some breathing videos, animations. So those are mentioned in the tips as well. But you're going to find out a few different things. Some of the books that I really love to share to bring mindfulness into the classroom, and then just some practical breathing techniques, like the 5-finger technique or the Hoberman sphere, and a couple of the ones that are kind of my go-tos, and then some other practical activities to help with focus, and to help with kindness and developing empathy. So they're just short little quick things that you can bring into your day, into the classroom, and hope gives you a little bit of inspiration to get going if you're starting out with mindfulness.
Thank you. Well, it's been a pleasure meeting with you, and I really appreciate you sharing all of this. I'm going to go check out the 25 mindfulness page as well. And always a pleasure speaking with you. And do you have any last statement that you want to leave with our listeners today?
I would just say, if you've been hearing about mindfulness and not sure about bringing it in, just try little things out. Don't make it into like I have to do all these 17 steps and all this stuff and have equipment and everything before I start. Just start, with yourself, maybe with some breathing, maybe with an app or something simple to get started, and then maybe just ring a bell at the beginning of your lesson and take a breath with your students at the start of the day, and then build it from there and see what works for you, and take away what doesn't work, because every class is so different anyways, and what kids like is different. So just be playful with it. If it's not working, don't be afraid to change direction, not say, no, we have to finish this breathing thing, but just let things go and try something else until you find what does work. So and I think you'll see the benefit as a teacher, and the students will see the benefits too. So
absolutely, let it go, let it flow.
Or let it be, I should say. I think it's let
it
it be is better than let it go, I
I
think.
love that.
Yeah.
Let it be, let it flow.
The Beatles, I'm a Beatles fan. So yeah. I was singing both of those the other day, saying, what will it be? Let it go.
Yeah. And you guys song bomb everybody listening today.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for all your shares, and I really appreciate your time today.
Thanks so much, Crystal. Thanks for having me and for all that you do as well in the world of mindfulness.
Thank you so much, Helen. Talk to you soon.
Thanks.